You mentioned retainer projects. Have you found a lot of success with those?
Reasonable. The reason it's reasonable is when we don't like to be like that a la carte kind of like cut and paste production company. Our retainer models are a little bit different. They're essentially a bucket of money that depletes over time, but guarantees our availability. So say it's a 12-month contract, $100,000. They've got our services for $100,000 over the course of the next 12 months, and we, on a quarterly basis, we'll kind of revisit and say, all right, this is how much we've got left. What project's next? If it's a testimonial that costs them $10,000 to $15,000, all right, that just deducts from the $100,000, but guarantees our availability. So we'll just have to move around things to make sure they get it. But clients will pay to know that you are there at the drop of a hat, and that's the way that we structure it.
It's like a credit system almost in a way. And I actually that actually just reminded me of like a recent client project that we've kind of signed for the year as well, where it wasn't phrased as like a retainer model, but then if you look at it, it really kind of is. It's like for 4 quarterly videos in the year, you may not be getting paid on a monthly basis, but retainers don't have to be like a monthly thing specifically. It could be like a quarterly thing as well. It's like, we know every quarter with this client, we're going to do this project, then this project, then this project. But I like your approach too, where it's like buying gift card almost in a way, like a gift card of $100,000.
And you can also, like, you want to incentivize them as well, right? So maybe you give them a 10% discount, so they're getting $111,000 worth of stuff for $100,000, or so you they're not going to sign it unless there's an incentive. Like, other than the convenience of you being available, I don't think that's enough to convince someone that they should sign that big of a contract. But if you say, all right, over the course of the year, you're going to save $10,000, $11,000, $12,000, then the accountant team might pay attention.
Buy 4 videos, get 1 free.
Yeah, however you want to word it, right? Like, I mean, there's definitely ways. Yeah, absolutely.
I want to look at the financial side of that. So, like, are you you're locking them in for, like, let's say $100K, like, as soon as they sign the contract? Are you doing, like, they do quarterly payments to you, or is it
monthly? Monthly, yeah.
Monthly payments.
And it benefits us so much as well. Like, if their initial project is going to be a $30,000 project and they want to get started right away, then we would have that conversation. Say, all right, let's do like the deposit of 50% of the entire retainer, and then once we catch up to 6 months down the road or whatever it may be, or we make it $5,000 a month there on out for the rest of the duration of the contract. So
how do you go about bringing up that type of how do you say, agreement to a lot of clients? Because
you know what, Kyrill, to add on to that, do you find a lot of success with new clients or recurring clients?
It's a great question. No, it's definitely, you want to have a relationship, right? You want to make sure that you're going in. That's what I figured. Yeah, 100%. I would never pitch. I would maybe mention it in passing, very casually, in some of our earlier conversations, as something to look forward to, or something we can explore down the road after initial 1 or 2 projects. But it's definitely something that would hit a lot harder once you start to develop an ongoing relationship, because then they can see the financials. If they've spent $20,000 with you over the course of 2 videos, and they've got 20 videos to do this year, and they know it's going to be $10,000 every video, you can easily show them the value over time if you were to do it that way.
You don't want to scare them right off the bat. And the funny thing is, I just thought of an analogy. It's like, imagine you go on a first date and immediately the first thing you're talking about is getting married. It's going to scare everybody away.
That's a great analogy. Yeah, it's so true, dude. Like, I mean, and yeah, you want to make sure that you're just knocking those first couple of projects out of the park, building that rapport with those human connections with the people who are going to ultimately vouch for you internally. If it's like the director of marketing, the whoever it may be, they're the ones that are going to be taking that up to the higher ups and say, hey, if we do this with these guys who are really good and have done great work for us in the past, we'll save this amount of money over a period of time. I mean, if you just look at it from like how they're going to present it to their internal team, who they have to get approvals from, it makes a lot more sense that way.
Well, it comes down to numbers, right? Because if they then go and present it and they're like, look, we're going to save $20,000 a year, you'd have to be a fool not to take the vendor up on that option, because you're saving money, right? That's the whole
for sure
name of the game.
they have to go through your process. They have to go through it, and they have to see if they even like working with you at the same time, because that will help them kind of justify other parts of the process. Like I feel like once we've worked with some clients for multiple projects over time, you also feel comfortable pitching ideas to them, because the one thing is that they will also appreciate is that you also understand their business a lot more. You can understand better what their needs are, what might work for them versus what might work for someone else, so that you're pitching something a little bit more tailored, and that relationship can build even more over time.